Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Ringo TV Reactions. I'm your host, Ringo. We're back again with another one. Make sure you rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. What I want to talk about is this particular video where a black woman pretty much was in some sort of confrontation with a white man. I believe he's an Army vet. And things kind of went left real fast. And what we want to do is we want to kind of investigate this particular case and break this thing down. Now, before we begin, right, again, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I want to take you to a story that happened, I believe it was in 2019, where you had a situation where a man named Michael Draco was sentenced to 20 years. That's right, 20 years in prison for gunning down a black man over a parking spot, right? And this happened in Florida. I think it says 2018. So I'm trying to put the puzzle together because the white man, he got 20 years. He claimed self-defense. It didn't go through for him. And I'm trying to compare these two stories because, it just don't seem right, because it's just not right, guys. Like, we really got to talk about this. So what exactly happened in the 2018 case? Well, the black guy went into the store. I guess his woman was in the car. And what proceeded next will shock you. The white guy was upset because the family parked their car in a handicapped parking spot. And for whatever reason, maybe that guy probably had rights to that spot and didn't like the fact that they parked there. And, he wanted to park there. So when he noticed there was no sticker on the vehicle, he got into a little word play. Nobody's lives were threatened. But then what happened after that, guys, is that the black guy came out the store, right? Let me see if I could get that for you, right? Let me get this on the screen. Let me take this off and get this on the screen for you. All right. So now, as you could see in this situation, that's Draco there. He was pretty much sentenced to 20 years. And the black community was celebrating because, that's how they do. But now here we could see the video, right? You see the black guy coming out, proceeds to attack the white guy, pushing him to the ground. That had to hurt. White guy pulls out his gun. Pow, pow. Black guy dead. Now, I want that to factor into this particular case here in regards to the black woman who gunned down the white man, because if she don't get 20 years, something's wrong with the system. If she don't get 20 years, something's wrong with the system, because the white guy, right, stood his ground. Isn't that what we always say, self-defense? Now, why am I bringing all of this stuff up? Well, I'm glad you asked that question, because Willie D Live is a known grifter on YouTube, right? He used this very same video several years back, guys, and he was boasting and laughing that the white guy was sentenced to 20 years, but he wasn't in support of the white guy who claimed self-defense. Why? Because it involved a shooting of a black guy. But when it came to Carmelo Anthony, for whatever reason, right, he wanted to side with Carmelo Anthony and claim self-defense, even though Austin never had a weapon, never threatened his life. But he concluded that Carmelo stood his ground and it's self-defense, even though it's not, right? So I did a video the other day where I was comparing the Carmelo Anthony case in comparison to the case with Drakear, on how Carmelo got 35 years and Drakear got 20 years, and how the black community is being hypocritical when it comes to various cases. It's like if it involves a white person standing their ground, they just call the white person a racist and say he belongs in jail. But if a black person stabs or kills somebody that's white, the black community stands with them and say it was justified. You know what I mean? So now we got the story today of a black woman killing a white Army vet at a Walmart over a parking spot, right? And she was pretty much detained by police, and I believe she was released. And right now they're investigating the case to see whether or not charges will be placed on her. So now, that being said, and guys, be very mindful that during the live stream, you're going to see weirdos come into the live chat making up stuff that makes no sense, right? They're going to say stuff like, oh, you know, Carmelo was surrounded by 7 dudes. Carmelo was jumped. Carmelo was this, even though none of that is in the police report. Carmelo never said he was jumped. Carmelo never said none of these things. His family never said this. His attorney never said this. Nobody from Carmelo's team, right, publicly made any claims that he was jumped. These people are learning these things from grifter YouTubers who are lying in order to make money, right? When Carmelo was arrested, Carmelo had no wounds on his body, no wounds on his face. There was nothing wrong with him. He was not attacked, guys, not at all. But again, the black community, because they don't want to be truthful and honest in regards to the Carmelo Anthony case, they continually lie. And it's just a sad situation where the lack of accountability is something that we're dealing with right now. So we'll get back to that in a minute. Let's focus on the actual content so we could get this case going. So now, let me switch gears and kind of go back to the original point that I was making here about this guy, right? So Drakear pretty much gunned down the black man, right? And this all happened in Florida in 2018. Michael Drakear confronted the girlfriend of Markel's for parking in a handicap spot without a sticker. I guess she was pregnant at the time. They put she was pregnant at the time because it's like they want that to be like, oh, he was trying to attack her and the baby, when that did not happen, right? Let me do this real quick, guys. Give me a minute. For those of you that want to support the platform, be sure to support. Let me do something real quick. Make sure you hit that like button, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you are new and you want real content that focuses on the real issues. So let's see. So they claim that McLaughlin, who was in the store with his son, emerged and pushed Drakear away from the car. Now, in the Carmelo Anthony case, right, people were saying that Austin should have kept his hands to himself, right? That's what the black community was saying. Okay, so now the black guy came out and he pushed Drakear, right? He pushed the white man. Not only did he push him to the floor, and he most likely was hurt and injured. Now, the black community say you should keep your hands to yourself. Well, the black guy didn't do that. He decided to put his hands on the white man, and the white man responded by taking out his gun and killing him in self-defense. Isn't that what the black community say is good? Just like they're defending Carmelo Anthony, who got pushed by Austin, and then Carmelo pulled out a deadly weapon and stabbed him in his heart, right? The black community claimed that that was self-defense, even though that was not self-defense. Right? So my point is, it seems as if though there's a double standard. It seems as if though if a white man stand his ground, he's a racist, he's a killer. If a black person do, they're a victim. Even though Carmelo said, touch me and see what happens, which is a threat. And he basically seen himself. It's all premeditated murder because he told Austin, touch me and see what happens, right? So now let's move on, because we're going to get back to this point here as well. But let's get into the actual news report of the shooting that took place at Walmart.
Deadly confrontation in a Walmart parking lot. This is in North Lauderdale, Florida. Police say video tonight shows a man shot and killed by a woman over a parking spot. Here's Rhiannon Alley.
Tonight, this confrontation over a parking space turning deadly outside a Walmart in Florida, leaving 62-year-old Bart DeGuglielmo on the ground, dying of a gunshot wound.
Female shot someone outside in the parking lot. Both out there were fighting over a parking spot.
An eyewitness telling ABC News it all started 5 minutes earlier with the two drivers yelling at each other through open windows. The man then parked his car, partially blocking the spot, and walked into the store. The witness says the woman managed to slip into the spot anyway. He came out, moved his car, and walked off for a cigarette. The woman is seen getting out of her car, phone in one hand, gun in the other. The witness says a person in the white car tells her the man is waiting nearby. He's seen walking towards her as she points the gun at him. He then follows her around a car. The witness says the woman repeatedly warned him she'll shoot if he keeps coming at her. He appears to leave, but then returns and she opens fire. Police say the woman claims she acted in self-defense.
She acted in self-defense, guys. Notice a comment you have somebody says, I believe this woman is innocent. She told him to back off several times. This is clearly self-defense. Okay, so now at Lazy Money is a troll that pretty much comes here all the time, guys. But let's entertain Lazy Troll, right? And to the mods, do not block Lazy Troll. Do not block anybody I'm having a conversation with. We had an issue the other night with another moderator that did that. Do not block anyone that I'm having conversations with. Now, let's get into the content, because what I want to focus on here, guys, is the fact that this person said that the woman is innocent. So now I'm going to ask you the question at Lazy Money. Mr. Dracaw was outside having a dispute with a woman by a car. The so-called boyfriend came out, pushed him to the ground, pulled his gun, and shot him. Would you side with the white man that he's innocent and he did the right thing? Which one? Answer the question. Answer the question, Lazy Money. The white man was pushed by the black man. And I mean, the black man pushed the white man. White man falls to the ground, hurt. Black man stands above, proceeding, coming towards him to harm him. White man pulls his gun out in self-defense and kill him. Answer the question. Do you side with the white man? Do you see my point, guys? This very same person says the white guy should have been charged. Do you see my point, guys, with how black folk are racist too? Do you see my point? He sides with the black woman, right? He sides with the black woman, but don't side with the white man. Now watch this, guys. Watch this. Notice what he just said. He tries to switch it. But see, what you don't understand, Lazy Money, is that you're caught in a web. Because now I'm going to ask you the real question that I want to ask you. Austin Metcalf pushed Carmelo. Carmelo pulled out a knife and stabbed him in the heart. Was Carmelo justified in self-defense? Answer the question. Answer the question. Was Carmelo guilty of murder? Because you just said that the white man shouldn't have been charged after he was pushed. So would you agree that Carmelo Anthony is guilty of murder? Answer the question. Where you at? See, I'm too intelligent for people like you. You're so foolish, you walked right into the trap. You see what I mean, guys? And this is the very same person that was in my live chat defending Carmelo. You see? Now they're in the live chat. Let me just put you on the block list because you're being a hypocrite right now. You're being a hypocrite because all throughout the week, you were in my live chat defending Carmelo. Now you here playing dumb because you look stupid. Now we have to pack your ass up Now I get the pleasure of blocking you. Because all during my previous live streams, your ass was in there defending Carmelo, praising him. You were there defending him. Now you here acting like, oh yeah, you know. No, because you look stupid. You got caught up and you're being a fucking hypocrite. And I can't stand people like you. 1 minute in one stream, you praising the man. And now that this case come up, you get caught up because I compared all these stories to put you in a place where I can ask you the real question. And now you want to act like, oh yeah, it wasn't no self-defense with Carmelo. What a damn hypocrite. What a hypocrite. Absolutely sick how these people switch up on you, bro. Now, let's get back to the content and break this thing down so I can show you that this woman is most likely getting 20 years. And if they don't give her 20 years, something's wrong with the system, because why? They gave Dracar 20 years. And remember, nobody put their hands on this woman. Now, before we proceed with this video clip, let me show you the evidence of why this woman is going to prison. Let's get this content on the screen. Give me a minute. Let me do this. Here we go.
Walk away, the woman says in this very short cell phone video that ends with what sounds like a single gunshot. But we are now seeing what happened in the minutes prior. In the
minutes prior. Pay attention, guys.
Walmart parking lot at 7900 West McNabb Road. Take a look at this dash cam video. That's the woman with the gun on the left, getting out of her car, holding a phone in her left hand and a gun in her right.
Once you do that, there's no self-defense. That just went out the window. Sorry. She's going to prison. They're going to investigate. She's going to get charged. You know why? Because she came out her car with a gun, brandishing a gun. Do you see that? If your life is in danger, you don't get out of a car. You just drive away. But no, she got out her car brandishing a gun. That's not self-defense. See, it's one thing when you look at a video and you don't see the whole thing and you just kind of, well, you know, the guy was walking towards her and, you know, the guy. No, she got out of the car with her gun. You can't claim self-defense. Yeah, you guys got to understand the law. That woman going to prison. That woman is going to prison. And I'm waiting for the black community to set up a GoFundMe for her. I want to see if the black community going to send $700,000 to this woman too. Because if your life is in danger, you stay in your car. That's the safest place to be. You stay in your car and you call the cops. If that's the case, why would you come out your car and have your gun in your hand? Why? Now notice this person here, guys. Somebody name, whatever their name is, right? It says, why are you always talking bad about the black community? Now, notice what they said. They said that I'm always talking about the black community. Who am I talking about, ladies and gentlemen? Could anybody answer the question? To everybody that's viewing the show that is educated, right? Who am I talking about in the video? Who am I talking about? Am I talking about the woman who's holding the gun, or am I talking about the black community? I just want to know if there's any educated people. Maybe I'm the only one here that is educated, but I believe that a lot of people have selective hearing, where they hear things that they think they hearing. Because I'm talking about the woman that's on the screen with the gun, right? The problem is, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of black folk that watch my content, they hate accountability. They hate the fact that a black man like myself, who is intelligent, a family man, a father, right? A respectable man in the community. They hate people like me because we hold people accountable. Now, I'm talking about the woman that's on the video. I'm not talking about the black community. They're just upset that I hold people accountable. And that's the type of folks that allow these things to happen. They don't have a problem when black people kill white people. They don't care about that. You never see these people stand up against black on black crime. You never see them. But because I'm showing the facts that there is no self-defense case here, because she came out her car with the gun. That is the equivalent of somebody's outside your house, right? Now watch this, guys. Somebody's outside your house yelling and screaming in the street. You're in your house, you hear the commotion, you come outside with your gun. Brandishing your gun, you walk over to where the man is and you shoot him. That is not self-defense. That is not standing your ground. Do you understand? That woman is going to prison. Guaranteed she's going to prison. Do you understand me? So now, let's rewind back the tape. Let's listen to the content and break this thing down. Let's go.
Walk away, the woman says in this very short cell phone video that ends with what sounds like a single gunshot. But we are now seeing what happened in the minutes prior in this Walmart parking lot at 7900 West McNabb Road. Take a look at this dash cam video. That's the woman with the gun on the left, getting out of her car, holding a phone in her left hand and a gun in her right.
Once you get out the car with the gun, you're the aggressor. Once you get out the car with the gun, you are the aggressor. You're the threat now. Not that guy. That guy is not the threat. You're the threat. She's getting 20 to 35 years, guys. 40 years, 50. Trust me, they might let her go right now, but they will be investigating this thing. Yeah, she's going to prison. No doubt about it.
A witness tells 7 News that moments before this, she'd gotten into an argument over that space with the man we see in that cell phone video. In fact, the witness says the man parked his white SUV like this, blocking the space, but minutes later he moved.
Guys, I see stuff like this every day where people fighting over parking spots, people doing goofy stuff all the time. It is like this all the time at Walmart, fam. All the time. If all we could do is just pull out our gun because somebody approaching us and shoot them, fam, we killing everybody every day. We're going to be outside killing each other every single day, guys. Absolutely crazy. This doesn't make no sense. She came out her car with the gun, and plus she got a phone in her hand. That makes it even worse. So now when the jury of her peers look at this tape, you know what they're going to say? You had a cell phone in your hand. You had a vehicle which you could have stayed in, call the police if you felt your life was in danger. But no, you come out the car with your cell phone and a gun to provoke the situation. That's what she did.
She then pulls into the space, and according to the witness, she spoke briefly to the people in that white Honda, who the witness says told her the man was still in the parking lot. Then you see him, 62-year-old Bart DeGuglielmo, walking up to her.
Now, did you catch what the reporter said? Let's rewind that back. Listen.
To the people in that white Honda, who the witness says told her the man was still in the parking lot.
The witness told her the man is still in the parking lot. So the woman had ample amount of time to get in her vehicle and leave. But no, she wanted to stay. She wanted to show the white man that she can do and pull a Carmelo. I can guarantee you that that woman is a Carmelo supporter, gang. Guaranteed. She most likely said, I got my gun. I'm gonna stand my ground. And that's exactly what she did.
Then you see him, 62-year-old Bart DeGuglielmo, walking up to her. She points the gun, and for at least 30 seconds, they exchange words. At one point, he follows her as she walks around another car, still pointing the gun.
Following people does not mean anything, gang. Following people does not mean anything. It's a public parking lot. Anybody can follow anybody. If your life is in danger, go in your car. Do you understand, guys? I don't think you guys understand the law. This woman going to prison. This is crazy.
He appears to walk away, but immediately comes back and she fires.
Boom.
All this time, it appears.
Notice how far she is from the guy. You can look at where this is. They're literally in a parking space. She's at the end of the parking space. He's at the beginning of the parking space. He just walks around the side and she shoots him. Do you see that? Here's another thing, guys. Did she make a phone call to the police? All that time while she's on that phone, was she talking to law enforcement? See, these are the things that's going to be played in court, guys. They're going to say, why are you outside of the car walking around engaging with the person if you believe that your life is in danger? Why were you doing that? You were provoking the situation. And being that this guy is probably most likely an Army vet, he's probably talking her to tell her put down the gun. It ain't even about all of that. You got to think about that. You got to think about the fact that while they're exchanging words, this man is most likely like, look, could you put down the gun? I don't know why you pulling out a gun on me. And I don't know if any of you understand, but when somebody pull a gun out on you, that's going to get you even more heated because they pull a gun out on you. You're not going to be happy about that because now you're threatening me. So at the same time, while a lot of you folks siding with that woman who clearly is a killer, y'all not thinking about the fact that she pulled a gun on a man that don't have a gun. Y'all not even thinking about that mess. And the black community going to jump on board the bandwagon and start supporting the black woman. Why? Because she killed a white man. But my question to all the black folk who are supporting the so-called black woman, where was your support for Michael Dracar? Michael Dracar was approached by a black man who pushed him to the ground, physically attacked him. He pulled out his gun, used it, and then he got 20 years. Where was the black community to support him? Where were the black community, guys? Look at the tape. Check it out. Look at the tape. Look at the tape, gang. Ain't that something? They gave him 20 years because he defended himself. And it was over a parking spot too. Same situation. Look at it. Look at it. That's Dracar right there. Clear video. Can't be disputed. He's standing by the car, exchanging words over that parking spot. Here comes the black man, big and bad, right? Pushes him, shoves him to the ground. You don't know what kind of injuries that man sustained. You don't know what went through his mind. And he's standing over him. You don't know what's in his person. You don't know if the black guy got a gun. You don't know if he got a knife. The white guy didn't even hesitate. He pulls out his gun. You see that? He pulls out his gun. And see, guys, this is why I tell you men, when you are out and about with your family, your woman, whatever the case is, your job as a man is not to be Mr. Macho Man. It is to protect your family. That man didn't protect his family. He's dead. You know why? Because he was stupid. He came out and he used a method by just not speaking, just quickly attacked, pushed the man to the ground. Didn't even find out what's going on. No, let me just attack. Okay, you physically attacked the man. He responded with his gun. How come black people are not siding with the white man, but yet they siding with Carmelo Anthony? Well, if black folk believe that Carmelo was pushed by Austin Metcalf, then why would you be against the white man for killing the black man? If you are siding with Carmelo for stabbing Austin over a push. Do you see the hypocrisy in the case, guys? People pick and choose what they want to believe, man. So seconds later, Dracar pulled out his gun and ended McLaughlin's life. That's how fast it happened. Right? And it says, the stand your ground law allows a person to retaliate if they believe they are in danger of death or harm. Now, at that moment, the white man probably felt that he was in danger of or in harm's way because he was just pushed to the ground. You don't know if that guy have a knife. You don't know if he got a gun. Like, what's next after that push? So he just reacted and took him out. But for some reason in Florida, it didn't work out for the white man. The white man got 20 years. 20 years. So if the white man got 20 years, then what do you think going to happen to a black woman? What do you think going to happen to her? He was facing 30, but they gave him 20. Think about that, gang. Think about what's going on here. So now, let's go back to the other case so we could break this thing down, because I don't understand why is it that on social media, the rage baiters and race hustlers, they jump on these type of stories quick. You know, they jump on these stories quick to start to divide the community. I'm all about accountability. That's what I'm trying to focus on here is accountability. If the white man was sentenced to 20 years in prison, the black woman need to go to prison too. You understand? Because why? She escalated the situation. The man was not no threat. Even if he was mouthing off, it is what it is. People can mouth off all the time. I've been in situations where people mouthing off and I packed up my family. I said, let's go. Even though I had the ability to unalive somebody. Do you understand me? I just walk away from situations. I'm not going to stand there and put myself in a situation and now I got to deal with law enforcement. I got to be in court. I got to go through all, when I got other options. I got options to get in my vehicle and drive away. Rather than trying to prove something to somebody and I'm with my kids, it don't make no sense. But a lot of times people want to pull out guns because they want to show that they got a gun. And I can guarantee you that very same woman is pro Carmelo Anthony. And when she saw the white man, she saw the devil. And she saw an opportunity to use that gun. If you're in your car, it's the equivalent of being in your house. Stay in your car. What is the white man going to do if you're in your car? And all you got to do is call the cops. Like, do we not understand we got options? Do you not understand the options that woman had? She didn't use none of them, just like Carmelo. Carmelo could have walked away. Carmelo is doing 35 years. All of us that are here watching this live stream that are gamers, we are going to witness the release of Grand Theft Auto 6. We're going to all be at GameStop buying the cartridge, buying the disc so that we could come home. And I'm hearing that there is no disc, but we'll talk about that in another video. But we're going to all be out there purchasing Grand Theft Auto 6, coming home happy and excited to go on the first missions. And Carmelo going to be behind bars with a bunch of men. Do you see that? Carmelo didn't think. Somebody should have told him before he pulled out that knife and said, bro, Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be released, bro. Don't do it. Because that's the worst thing ever. This woman escalated this whole situation. Let's go back to the tape. Tail of the tape, guys. Tail of the tape. Let's go back to this. Back to the tape, right? Let's go back to it here. Hit the like button, guys. You got, let's see how many people got. 238 people viewing, only 105 likes, guys. We need to have 250 likes. Let's go. Let's get those likes up. If you're on the vertical feed, double tap the screen. If you are on the horizontal, hit the like button, guys. Let's go.
Walk away, the woman says in this very short cell phone video that ends with what sounds like a single gunshot. But we are now seeing what happened in the minutes prior in this Walmart parking lot at 7900 West McNabb Road. Take a look at this dash cam video. That's the woman with the gun on the left, getting out of her car, holding a phone in her left hand and a gun in her right.
Once you do that, guys, there's no self-defense. Do you understand? Go look it up. Go look it up. I dare somebody that's educated, that's smart, to go look it up and see if you could go do that. You can't do that. You can't do that. That woman going to prison. She's going to prison, guys. She's going to prison. You're going to jail. You're going to jail. You're going to jail. You can't do that, fam. No. That's not self-defense. That's not. Sorry. That's not how it works. See, here's the problem. A lot of people that are gun owners, right? They believe that you could just start brandishing weapons and walking around with guns and doing all of this foolishness and think that you're good. You had a situation the other day. I'm going to probably do a story about that. You had 2 black kids and a white boy. Matter of fact, put a 1 in the chat if you guys, right, heard about this story where you had a white kid and 2 black kids that were washing, I think they were washing cars or doing some landscaping or something like that. And for whatever reason, a white guy came out his house brandishing a gun. And it was a big issue where he came out his house brandishing a gun, basically intimidating these kids. They outside just trying to hustle, make some money. And you have this white guy come out his house threatening these kids with his gun. You see what I mean? You can't do that. So this is not a case of self-defense. You cannot come out your car with your gun. That's intimidation. That's not self-defense no more. If you're so fearful of your life, you won't be outside of your car. Why are people so uneducated, man? This is absolutely crazy, bro. Absolutely crazy. Let me see what this person says. I bet Ringo gonna defend the white dude in that story. What do you mean defend the white dude? What do you mean defend the white dude? You talking about this white dude here that I'm defending him? That's what you're saying? Because I'm not defending him. I'm using that story as an example. See, that's the problem with you. You have selective hearing. At no point did I defend the white man. At no point did I defend the white man. So you got your story all mixed up, right? Because what he did is not self-defense. See, the problem is with you folks is you lack the knowledge of what self-defense mean. That's why y'all all going to prison. Because why? You don't know what self-defense mean. A lot of y'all think y'all could just go get a gun, right? And have a gun and feel you could just shoot people because you just feel like your life is in danger. You better make sure the circumstances are there or else you go into prison. You better make sure that there was force that was coming against you that meant your life was going to end and you had to use deadly force. You had other options. You didn't use them. You know, and it's just sad. There's a lot of people, guys, that are gun owners and they lack knowledge. You got a lot of homeowners that have guns, and because they don't like the fact that their neighbor is doing something, they come outside with a gun and try to use intimidation. You can't do that stuff. You're going to get yourself arrested. I mean, what do you think this is? And you know what's so crazy about these laws? Let's say, for example, hypothetically speaking, you're out having a barbecue. Let's say you're a homeowner, you're at your house, you're having a barbecue, you have some company over, right? And somebody's in front of the yard and they're just kind of loud, you know, y'all celebrating whatever, and your next door neighbor come outside with his gun. He's brandishing the weapon, he's arguing, and he's making everybody feel uncomfortable. There's women, there's children all on your property, right? But then your other neighbor across the street sees him holding the gun. Do you understand that by law, that other neighbor that see him holding that gun, intimidating a crowd of people, women and children, that neighbor have the rights to intervene? Do you know that? See, this is why it is so dangerous to just pull out a gun brandishing, because another person that's walking by can see you holding that gun and in their mind believe that you are the perpetrator, that you are the aggressor. Do you see that? That's like you're in a convenience store and you're arguing with somebody and you pull out your gun, brandishing your weapon, telling the other guy he need to leave the store. And another shopper sees you with the gun. And in their mind, they don't know that you and that guy are arguing. So they jump into action and take you out. Now you're dead. You see how fast that happened? That's why you don't pull out guns. You use your options. You understand? Learn how to de-escalate, conflict resolution skills, call the police, walk away. When all else fails, there's no other option, and the only option I got is to take you out to defend my life, then that's what I'm gonna do. But see, people don't use none of the options given. They just jump to pulling out guns, pulling triggers, and now you gotta hire lawyers to defend you because you're stupid. That's what they do, guys, all the time. Now, let's get back to the content. Hit the like button, guys. Hit the like button. Let's get back to this video clip. Let me rewind it back. Let's go.
Walk away, the woman says in this very short cell phone video that ends with what sounds like a single gunshot.
We could say they both had options. I agree. They both had options. I'm not saying that the white guy walking around and she's holding a gun is the best thing. He could have walked away too. But what we're talking about here is the case of her putting him to death. We could go on and on and on and talk about what he could have did, but he's dead. He's gone. She's the one with the upper hand. You know, when you are in a fight, let's say you're boxing. You know, those of you that are boxing fans, you should know this. There was a fight between, let me see who this was. It was Evander Holyfield and what's this guy, man? This other black guy, man. Man, I forgot his name. He's another good fighter. He beat the crap out of Evander Holyfield. Let me see who it was. Let me go back to my history and see. Give me this. Give me a minute, because I always be binge watching old boxing fights to see, you know, the old matches and whatnot. But let me see who this was. I was just watching it last night. Where is it? Okay. It was Evander Holyfield versus James Toney, right? James Toney is another great boxer. He destroyed Evander Holyfield in that match. Pretty much ended his career. But then again, Evander was, I think he was like in his early 40s. He was supposed to retire, something like that. I don't know. But great fight. And nonetheless, his corner basically told Evander, look, if you ain't going to fight, if you ain't going to put up your hands, I'm going to throw the towel in and end the fight, because we want to make sure that we protect your health. You know what I'm saying? And basically the match continued. Evander wasn't really throwing no punches. Toney was destroying him, just brutalizing him in that ring, and they threw the towel in. Now, what is my point? My point is that when you have the upper hand, right? At that point, you have greater responsibility. You get what I'm saying? Because you have the upper hand. You already know you have a gun. The other person don't have a gun. So at that moment, you have a responsibility, because you can end their life if you want. You could walk away. You could get in your car. You might be dealing with a male Karen for all you know. You know how the Karens are, right? They got male Karens. They got female Karens. You got a lot of aggressive people that like to argue. There's a lot of people, guys, a lot of people love arguing. This is why I walk away. Whenever I see somebody is unhinged and they love to argue, I just walk away, because I realize that's an NPC. So I walk away. I just leave. I'm not going to go toe to toe with an NPC, a non-playable character, a robot that just want to argue because they're going to provoke you. And before you know it, you're going to end up doing something stupid. Right. So being that she has a gun, she's in a position where she have the power. So at that moment, she should say to herself, you know what? Let me get in my car, because if anything, once the police come, they're going to arrest him. If there's any damage to my car, he's going to have to deal with that. So I'm going to protect myself rather than ending his life and possibly put myself in a messed up situation, because he don't have a gun. There's really no threat of my life being taken from me. We're just simply arguing over a parking spot. And again, we don't know the magnitude of the problem. I've seen people fight over parking spots. You understand? Fighting, you know, especially when you go into those parking lots where there's no parking and it's like somebody back out and then somebody just swing into the parking spot real fast. It becomes a heated fight over that simple situation. You know, happens all the time. So let's get back to the tape. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Let's go.
But we are now seeing what happened in the minutes prior in this Walmart parking lot at 7900 West McNabb Road. Take a look at this dash cam video. That's the woman with the gun on the left, getting out of her car, holding a phone in her left hand and a gun in her right. A witness tells 7 News that moments before this, she'd gotten into an argument over that space with the man we see in that cell phone video.
Now, I want you to pay attention to something, guys, because if you look at the right side of the screen, that still image that's still sitting there from the previous video, you can see that she's next to a car with some pedestrians that are just in the vehicle, and she's holding a gun. I'm sure they were uncomfortable too. That's why they pulled away. They probably didn't even see her gun, to be honest. And judging by the still image, it looked like they're white. It looked like though that's a white family that's in that vehicle. You see? So at that moment, that family could have pulled out a gun. Because she got a gun. This is why you don't brandish weapons. Because at that moment, the passenger that's there, if you look at the way their head is, they're looking the other way. They could have looked at her, saw the gun, and then immediately pulled out a gun and shoot her instantly, because they could have felt that their life was in danger. This is why you don't pull out weapons. because people be on edge. Like I said, guys, in the South, everybody has a gun. I'm letting you know that right now. In the South, everybody got a gun. When you're in the stores, when you're in the Walmarts, the Food Lions, you got to understand that everybody that's walking around in that store could potentially have a gun on them. And you don't want no smoke, because I seen this happen already, guys, in Food Lion. Customers pulling guns on people that's doing stuff. I've seen this stuff. Police had to be called, and then they got arrested. I seen white folk get arrested for pulling out guns, and they didn't have no right to pull that gun out. They were trying to intimidate somebody because they got into an argument at the register, and cops were called in, and the gun owner got arrested because they don't know what they're doing. They think because they got a gun, they could just pull it out. It's one thing to walk with your gun. That's cool. But you just can't pull guns out and use intimidation. Can't do that. Not if we're just having a verbal dispute over something. It doesn't make no sense. Why would you want to put yourself and your family at risk? And now you're in jail. It don't make no sense, man. Let me shout out the super chat real quick. Shout out to Naja, I believe the name is. Shout out to you for the $20 support. Appreciate you sponsoring the show. Says, I agree with Ringo. That's why I support his channel. So many people get upset with him because he keeps it real no matter what race. And he's very intelligent. Win-win. Appreciate you sponsoring the show. And they're going to be mad because you chose to sponsor the show. They don't like that. They don't like when anybody support my work because I'm fair and balanced. They don't like that, you know? So again, these images is going to be shown in court because eventually this woman got to go to court. She's not just going to go home after killing somebody. It's not going to work like that, because the family of that Army vet is going to most likely lawyer up. The community is going to get down with them and back them up. And then we're going to see a major fight in court. So we're going to see whether or not this woman goes to prison for murder. Now, I don't know what charge they're going to give her. I cannot speculate on that because the case has just now started. But based on what I'm seeing, right? Based on what I'm seeing, she had the option to stay in her car. She had the option to stay in her vehicle because at this point, she came out her vehicle. If you look here, she opens the door.
With the gun on the left, getting out of her car, holding a phone in her left hand and a gun in her right.
Once you do that, guys, it's case over. There's no self-defense at this point. It's one thing if you were walking from the store. Let's say you're walking from the Walmart with your groceries and you have your firearm on you already and you're approached and the guy grabbed you in a headlock and blah, blah, blah. And you got your gun and now you have grounds because we have a situation that's really transpiring. But to step out of your car with the gun and a cell phone, you're trying to use intimidation. In other words, I got my gun, so you better not come near me or I'll kill you. So this is all premeditated. You're literally meditating on the fact that you got a gun and you have the ability to kill him. So when this is played in court, this is not going to look good on her part. This is not self-defense. I don't care what nobody say. And you have a lot of people, they're going to act like they're attorneys. They're going to act like they know this and know that. Fam, I've been on YouTube doing investigative news reporting for years, since 2006. I know what I'm talking about. That woman going to prison.
A witness tells 7 News that moments before this, she'd gotten into an argument over that space with the man we see in that cell phone video. In fact, the witness says the man parked his white SUV like this.
Somebody in the live chat says if Ringo was surrounded by 6 dudes, he would do the same thing. Carmelo did. No questions asked. You know what's so funny is that you're answering on what I would do for me. Sir, you cannot answer or declare what I would do for me, right? Number one, if I was asked to leave a canopy, a tent by a team, I would just leave the tent. You see what I mean? Why would I stay there and be defiant when the team is asking me politely to leave? So for you to assume and project what I would do is asinine. It's stupid. Why would you do that? That don't make no sense. I'm not a criminal. See, the thing is, the difference between me and you is that I'm not a criminal, right? I'm not ghetto. I wasn't, I was not no thug. I never been arrested. I don't have a parking ticket, a speeding ticket, nothing. I follow the rules and I understand the law and I understand stand your ground and self-defense. You know what I mean? I understand all of that. And I don't walk around brandishing guns because I'm smart. I'm not dumb. I understand how the system work. And I understand that you have many people that are gun owners walking around. And it's sort of like driving, right? You're driving, you can anticipate what another driver is doing because you know how to drive. Okay, so if you're a gun owner and you have proper training of gun laws and various do's and don'ts, then when you see a gun owner or somebody with a gun doing something that they not supposed to do, it can trigger a reaction out of you to jump into that mode of defending people. You know, it's just like I said, if you see somebody in a local Food Lion and they're having an argument with someone in aisle 3 and you see a person have a gun out and you're one of the customers in the store, you see somebody with a gun out and there's a young kid there and you see somebody with a gun, the first thought that's going through your mind is, wait a minute, I gotta jump into action here. This person is holding a gun in the store at a teen. What are you doing? That's when I'm pulling my gun out. Do you understand? Because at this moment, that kid's life is in danger. And I'm looking at this thing. What am I going to do? Sit there and just watch the show? No, I'm going to be like, bro, put that gun down. And I'm calling the police. And we're getting everybody involved. It's going to be one big mess. That's how you can get unalive. Because you're the one brandishing that gun using intimidation. That's what you're doing.
Blocking the space, but minutes later he moved. She then pulls into the space, and according to the witness,
Think about that. She's coming out the car with a gun. You gonna tell me those people next to her didn't feel no type of way? You gonna tell me that they were just having a good conversation? They're feeling intimidated too. Because she's holding a gun. We don't know who this woman is. She could have pulled out that gun and unalived those people. You don't know what's going through her head. You do not know what that woman was thinking at that moment. You could just look at her and tell she's crazy. You could look at that woman and tell she is crazy. Why? You on the phone and you got a gun in your hand. Something wrong with you mentally.
Spoke briefly to the people in that white Honda, who the witness says told her the man was still in the parking lot.
Look at a customer was walking by with their shopping cart. Look at that customer walking by.
Parking lot.
And she got a gun.
Then you see him, 62-year-old Bart DeGuglielmo, walking up to her. She points the gun.
Notice the people in the car, they out. The people in the car, they out. Did they call the cops? Did they tell her, miss, you should just go in your car and just relax, call the police? No. When I tell you people lack the ability to think, people lack the ability to de-escalate, they lack the ability to just retreat. For some reason, they feel like they got to go toe to toe and do something, put themselves in a bad situation. I don't know. Maybe y'all don't like y'all freedom. I like my freedom. I don't know about y'all, but I like my freedom. I want to be able to go purchase Grand Theft Auto 6 when it releases. You know? When I'm online to purchase Grand Theft Auto and somebody's looking for a fight, I'm going to be like, bruh, listen, I'm trying to get Grand Theft Auto 6. I'm really not trying to get in no issues right now. So, hey, if you want to go ahead and be the tough guy, hey, be the tough guy, fam. But I'm trying to get this cartridge so I could get to the crib. Right? If my life is in danger and I feel that somebody's trying to end my life, then I'm going to put you to sleep. Just that simple. But I understand how to de-escalate. I understand how to walk away. I understand how to just avoid the drama. These are just things you learn as a man. Weak, emotional men will try to go toe-to-toe with people and put themselves in a bad situation. And next minute, you lose your freedom because you're stupid.
For at least 30 seconds, they exchange words. At one point, he follows her as she walks around another car, still pointing the gun. He appears to walk away, but immediately comes back and she fires. All this time, it appears she's still on the phone.
See, here's the thing, guys. A lot of you are saying the guy is wrong for walking towards her, right? Let's break this thing down legally, right? That is a public parking spot, which means that man can walk around anywhere he want. Do you understand? That could be his truck over there. Do you understand how this will play out in court? That could be his truck over there. He could walk wherever he want. She could be in her car. Let's focus on the facts. It's a public parking spot. He can walk wherever he want. She can walk wherever she wants. In a situation like this, if she's the one holding the gun and felt that her life was in danger, the safest place to be in is in the car. That way, no matter where he walk, he can't get to her because he can't get in her car. You understand what I'm saying? So again, she pulled a gun and came out the car with the gun with a cell phone. She could have stayed in the car and notified the law enforcement. They would have came in and did their thing. That's what they get paid to do. But what we try to do is we take the law into our hands, step out the car, deputize ourselves, and then pull the trigger. And then we wondering why we're doing 30 years in prison.
He remains conscious on the ground as one car stops, but then keeps going.
Notice people are driving by while the man is on the floor suffering a gunshot wound. Nobody's rendering aid. She's not calling no help. She's not calling nothing. And this man just sat there and died.
Then a second car behind them. For more than 2 minutes, pedestrians and cars go by. The man was alternately sitting up and lying down, but he would later die at the hospital. Deputies arrived roughly 3 minutes after the shooting, and that...
You see that? Deputies arrived 3 minutes after the shooting. After the shooting. See, they could have arrived 3 minutes before the shooting if she would have just called the deputies. So she never called the police, guys. Are y'all seeing this? Within all of that transaction there, that woman never called the cops. She was most likely on the phone with her damn girlfriends. She was most likely on the phone with one of her friends talking about, yeah, you got some racist white guy in front of me, because you know she was calling him a racist. You know how it go. Anytime, yeah, he dead. The man is dead. She killed him. That's why I said she's going to prison, because there's no self-defense here. Now, they released her after they did what they did because obviously they got to go through the investigation and stuff. But she's not going to make it. They're going to put this woman in prison. I'm going to definitely keep y'all posted on this one.
Woman, we're told, is claiming self-defense.
She's claiming self-defense. How? What was the threat of death when you got out the car with your gun? This is why I tell you, black folk like this, when they end up in court, they're going to always go to prison, because y'all be claiming self-defense when it's not self-defense. How you get out your car and then claim self-defense when you're brandishing a weapon to intimidate people, and then when they approach you, you shoot them and claim self? No, that's not self-defense, man. You going to prison.
Walk away, the woman.
And she's pointing the gun at him. You see what I'm saying? He don't got a gun. He don't got a gun. He don't got a knife. He's just walking around. If this is the case, ladies and gentlemen, any one of us can do this. If this is the case, if we're walking near somebody by their car, they could just pull out a gun and shoot us. How many of you ever been in a situation as a black man, primarily if you're a black man, because this happens a lot with us, where you are walking near someone and your mind already tell you that that person is scared because of you. You're just minding your business now, trying to get to your vehicle. And because you got to walk near them, they're looking at you all suspicious and weird. And that's exactly what can happen to you. And then when they see you get in your vehicle, and it's a nice vehicle, by the way, then all of a sudden the threat level go down. They were literally looking at you like you were a threat and you didn't do nothing to them. I've been in situations like that, guys, where I literally was walking past a group and for whatever reason, they were looking at me like I'm a threat and I'm just minding my business, just trying to get to my car. And they looking at me like I did something wrong. That's the same way they could pull out a gun, fam, and think that you are trying to rob them. And it happened at night, by the way, at nighttime. They had parked their car far away, because I don't like parking my car in the front of any store because it just be too much drama with people. Some people open their car door, hit their car, and I don't like that mess. So I park far away, right? So their car was near my car. So it's like I'm walking towards them by the car. They looking at me like, why is he walking towards us? Even though they clearly see a vehicle is right there. But in their mind, you're black. So it's like, what? Why is he walking towards us? You know? So I understand how this thing is, fam. I understand. And at the same time, this woman was in a situation where she could have just said, you know what? Let me just stay in my car because there really is no threat. There is no threat. But what I'm trying to show you, parking lots is where a lot of drama go down, fam. That's why you got to know where to park and how to park your car, because people can feel that their life is in danger. Just like how I was approaching my vehicle and you had a couple that was nervous and scared as hell because I was trying to get to my vehicle. And they were looking at me all suspicious and weird. And the thing is, we could feel it. And I'm like, oh boy, here we go. And then once they see me get into my vehicle and start it up, they felt stupid, man. And it's I could read their mind, man. Like they were judging me, bruh. Judging me like I'm some animal, like a ninja. I'm some thug trying to rob somebody and I'm trying to get home. You see, that white man didn't have no gun. Yeah, it wasn't smart for him to even be around her while she's holding a gun. I mean, if somebody's pointing a gun at you, common sense is to walk away if you're the average person. But he's an Army vet, so he probably been around guns all his life. He's not intimidated by that, if that makes sense. So in his mind, he wasn't scared of the gun. Do you see what I'm saying? He wasn't scared of the gun. And we don't know what they were saying. We don't know what they were talking about there. She shouldn't have been pointing the gun at him in the first place. She should have stayed in the vehicle. When you have a gun pointed at you, it'll piss you off. Somebody point a gun at you, that would make you angry. That would make you angry. We could say it's kind of dumb of him, walking near and engaging with her, being that she have a gun. I would agree that it's not smart to do that. At the same time, she's not a responsible gun owner. Not a responsible gun owner at all, because she's brandishing the gun. She should have never took the gun out the car. The threat, there was no threat because he wasn't near the car when she got out. See, guys, those of you that are agreeing with the woman, those of you that's going to side with her because she's black, because I understand how the black community is. They side with black people because they're black. That's how they are. I don't know why, but that's what they do, right? If this video is played in court, right, the jury of her peers, and just in case you're black and you don't know what a jury of your peers is, a jury of your peers is not people that are black. A jury of your peers are people that are of the community, whether they're white, black, Asian, Russian, doesn't matter their ethnicity. As long as they are in the community and they are impartial and capable of judging you, not based on race, religion, sexuality, or any of that. A jury of her peers, once they review these tapes and they see that the man was nowhere near her car and she was in her car and they see her get out her car with a gun, self-defense goes out the window because that means she's looking for trouble. That means that she's looking for a situation where she can use self-defense. She wanted to kill a white person, if you ask me. She wanted to kill a white person. Because I'm going to tell you something, guys. As a gun owner, you don't want to harm nobody. You don't want to kill nobody. You don't want to shoot nobody. You really don't. You really don't. You have some people that are gun owners. They just like collecting guns. They like going to the range, but they don't want to kill nobody. They really don't. And I'm not talking about the psychos out there. I'm talking about a gun owner, a family person. They just want to protect their family. That's it. They're not trying to unalive nobody. So when she took that gun out that car, she wanted blood. She wanted to kill somebody, guys. She was upset. She was upset too. So it wasn't just an argument with the white guy and the white guy was just the bad guy. They were both arguing. We don't know who was at fault in terms of this parking spot because, like I said, people argue like this all the time at these Walmarts. They argue all the time. Walmart shoppers are very aggressive, especially in the parking lot. They just drive in speeding and just jump into a parking spot. I seen a kid got hit by a car in a parking lot. A kid got hit by a vehicle because the driver just flew into the parking spot while a family was coming out of their car walk to the store. And as he drove in, the young boy was coming. Picture somebody trying to front park. They're trying to front park into a parking spot. And you had the car on the opposite side parked. The family get out, they're walking, and the little kid was kind of walking in the parking spot lane. The other car just zoomed in, boom, hit the kid. Police, everybody showed up. Big mess. It was a big mess because of that. Because why? Nobody's paying attention. Now, we could always say that the parents should have been holding the child and la, 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 la. We could say all of that. But as a driver, you don't just speed into the parking lot. He hit the kid pretty hard, too. Police, ambulance, everything had to be called. Let's go.
Says in this very short cell phone video that ends with what sounds like a single gunshot. But we are now seeing what happened in the minutes prior in this Walmart parking lot at 7900 West McNabb Road. Take a look at this dash cam video. That's the woman with the gun on the left getting out of her car, holding a phone in her left hand. And
that's not no dash cam video. That's somebody holding a camera. Dash cam video is steady.
Gun in her right. A witness tells 7 News that moments before this, she'd gotten into an argument over that space with the man we see in that cell phone video.
Why do folks argue over a parking space? I don't do that. You got to be at a low level, a low frequency, to be arguing in a parking spot over a parking spot. Like, it makes no sense. Like, it really makes no sense to be arguing over stuff like that.
In fact, the witness says the man parked his white SUV like this, blocking the space, but minutes later he moved.
See, I would not use my vehicle to block the space because I don't want nobody ramming into my vehicle. That's how you know we have a lot of NPCs that are on the road, because why would you put your vehicle in the way knowing that we have Karens, psychos, lunatics, and NPCs that would use their car to ram into your car? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? I'm very, very protective of my vehicle. I don't play none of those type of games. So why would you use your car to block this and block that? I've seen people ram people's cars out of parking spots. Some crazy stuff, man.
She then pulls into the space, and according to the witness, she spoke briefly to the people in that white Honda, who the witness says told her the man was still in the parking lot.
Fam, I would go park into another store area if I had to, fam. If there is no parking spot at Walmart, I'm not fighting over. I will go in the Lowe's and park there. I'm not going through all this madness, bro.
Then you see him, 62-year-old Bart DeGuglielmo, walking up to her. She points the gun, and for at least 30 seconds, they exchange words. At one point, he follows her as she walks around another car, still pointing the gun. He appears to walk away, but immediately comes back, and she fires.
She wanted to fire that gun, guys. That woman had ample amount of time to get in her car and leave. She wanted to kill him. Can't you understand that, guys? This is why when they play this tape in court, the jury of her peers is sentencing her to prison time, because they're going to say, look, your life was not in danger. You wanted to use that gun. And you have to think of it's in a public parking lot. We have pedestrians walking around. She could have killed anybody. She could have shot anybody. Somebody could have got hit in the crossfire. You see what I mean? She never rendered aid. She didn't call the police. All of this is going to come up. They're going to be like, you were on a cell phone. Did you notify law enforcement? Because they said that the police came 3 minutes after the shooting. So she never called the police, guys. She was out there looking for a body. She wanted to kill this man, guys. That's what she wanted to do.
Well, this time it appears she's still on the phone. He remains conscious on the ground as one car stops, but then keeps going. Then a second car behind them. For more than 2 minutes, pedestrians and cars go by.
That's sad. Pedestrians and people just go by. But that's the world we live in, guys. The world is not the same no more. The world had shifted into a place where people have no empathy, no soul. Nobody reacts to nothing no more. We'll see somebody on the floor with a gunshot wound in the head, and we just walk right by. We don't even think, well, let me call the police. Let me call somebody. Let me just go shopping. That's the world we live in, guys.
The man was alternately sitting up and lying down, but he would later die at the hospital. Deputies.
Whoa, I just caught that. Wait a minute. Let me see. Somebody said she have an RIP shirt. Wow, I'm looking at the shirt right now. That's crazy. She have on an RIP shirt, guys. So that means somebody died, and yet she killed somebody. Make that make sense. Make that make sense, fam. Notice how you have somebody in the chat says, Ringo, put on a tuxedo and tap dance for the white folks. Why do y'all always do that? Anytime I do content holding black people accountable, you act as if though I'm doing this content because I'm trying to make white people happy. I don't know why y'all keep doing that stuff. I don't care if white people are happy or sad. Has nothing to do with me. I don't care if black people are happy and sad. I'm just doing content to talk about a story. That's all I'm doing. Because I believe that in this situation, that white man's family needs justice for her murdering him. So for you to assume that I'm tap dancing for white folk, that just goes to the mentality that you have. You're one of those black folks that are intimidated by white people for some reason. You have this hatred for white folk. And white folk are not even thinking about you. That's the sad part.
Arrived roughly 3 minutes after the shooting, and that woman, we're told, is claiming self-defense.
Wow. How could you claim self-defense? That's crazy. There ain't no self-defense in this garbage. You wanted to kill the man. She had enough time to leave.
Confrontation in a Walmart parking lot. This is in North Lauderdale, Florida. Police say video tonight shows a man shot and killed by a woman over a parking spot. Here's Rhiannon Alley.
Tonight, this confrontation over a parking space turning deadly outside a Walmart in Florida, leaving six.
This is why I stay away from people, guys. This is why I stay away from people, whether they're black, white. I stay away. I stay away as far as I can because of stuff like this, guys. I stay away, because it could be a situation where somebody's in a parking lot and you see a woman, she looks like she's struggling with her groceries, and you go, let me go over there and see if I can help, be a good Samaritan. And then you go over there, and then there's a problem. You go over there, something happened, and you're trying to just help somebody. It doesn't make any sense, man. This is why you can't even do acts of kindness anymore, because people take it as if though you're trying to rob them or attack them or whatever. You look suspicious nowadays. I just stay to myself.
52-year-old Bart DeGuglielmo on the ground, dying of a gunshot wound.
Female shot someone outside in the parking lot. Both out there were fighting.
Think about this, guys. Look at the image. The man is shot, right? She's still holding the gun.
Dying.
You see that? She already shot the man. He's down on the floor. She's still holding the gun, pointing at him. Come on now. Come on now. And nobody is trying to intervene. Nobody's calling the police. Nobody's doing anything. She never called the police.
Of a gunshot wound.
Female shot someone outside in the parking lot. Both out there were fighting over a parking spot.
Everybody want to call after the shooting. Nobody called before the shooting. That's an NPC. That woman is they're both NPCs. Both of them are NPCs. Both of them. The man's an NPC because he pretty much is walking around while she's holding a gun at him. So you got to be an NPC, right? Because you don't care. She's an NPC too because she's holding the gun. She's in a public space. She didn't call the police. She have her vehicle. She could have just left. But no, she want to fight. Both NPCs.
An eyewitness telling ABC News it all started 5 minutes earlier with the two drivers yelling at each other through open windows. The man then parked his car partially.
You think she was recording him? Let me look back. Because you're right. She had that cell phone out. So she most likely was recording. That tape is going to be played in court too. That tape is going to be played in court as well, is that she was recording him as well. But the thing is, even though she have the tape recording, sometimes that recording will be used against her. Sometimes your tape, your own phone will be used against you because you're filming yourself out the car to make it look like you're defending yourself. But there was another camera recording her coming out the car with her gun. So if she pressed record after she got out the car, right? That's going to be played in court. And then they're going to play the video of her getting out the car from the other person's camera, showing that she was the aggressor with the gun. It's not self-defense, guys. No matter how you spin it, no matter how you see it, this case is not self-defense. Because again, if we go back to the case with Michael Dracar, he's a white man who pushed, the white guy never pushed nobody. The black guy pushed Michael Dracar. Michael Dracar confronted the girlfriend over a parking spot, which is happened in Florida. So the same state, Michael Dracar confronted the girlfriend who was parked in a handicapped parking spot, and he never put hands on her. It was just a verbal altercation. The black guy came out of the store and proceeded to approach Mr. Dracar and pushed him forcefully on the ground, prompting the white man to pull out his weapon. As you can see, he's not in the vehicle. He's not in front of the vehicle. There is a space, and he's probably just having verbal words, which is typical of what happened daily, right? Black man comes out, don't even know what's going on, proceeds to walk up to the white man. Now notice this. I don't think a lot of y'all seen this. This is where it gets interesting. This is where it gets interesting. Watch this. Notice the car door while the woman is arguing with the white man. The woman, I don't know her ethnicity. I don't know if she's black, white. I don't know, right? Let's just assume she's black. As soon as she see her man comes out the store, notice the car door. She opens the car door. Now, I want y'all to think about this in regards to the Carmelo Anthony case, because a lot of black people sided with Carmelo, claiming self-defense when it was not self-defense. He murdered Austin Metcalf. And their excuse is that Carmelo was surrounded by a bunch of racists, a bunch of kids, and they were all jumping Carmelo, even though that's not true. That was a team's tent. Carmelo was not surrounded. Carmelo was at the top of the bleacher. That's where his book bag was, at the top. That's why he was able to run to the top. If he was surrounded and jumped, he would have never been able to run because they would have grabbed him, right? They were in shock. That's when everybody got up after Austin fell down the bleachers, and everybody scattered out of fear because they saw that he was stabbed in his heart. Once people see blood, it gets real. So now what I want you to get from this is the black guy walks up to the white guy. The woman opens the door. So now it's 2 versus 1. 2 versus 1. You got to think about what's happening here. Why is she stepping out that car door if the husband is coming back from the store? There's no need for her to step out that car if your life is in danger. Do you see what I'm saying? She stepped out because she got some confidence because she saw the man. Now let's see what happened. He pushes him to the ground. She's outside the car. He's standing over him. 2 people. White man is like, wait, I got pushed. I was attacked. I never hit nobody. Why am I being attacked? He goes, he don't know who's got what. He don't know what's happening here. Notice, woman standing there. You don't know if she got a gun. You don't know if she got a knife. Black man, you don't know if he got a gun. You don't know if he got a knife. You got a white man at the bottom of the screen walking towards, but then when he saw that gun come out, the white man that was at the bottom of the screen runs to his car. Black man standing there looking crazy. The woman, assuming she's a black woman, now is praying to Jesus, right? And then the white man unalive him. Pow, pow. He's dead. You see that? So now the father died in front of his son. And now the mother got to explain to her son why the father was dumb enough to push a man for no reason. Do you see that? That's the problem. And the black community had no problem with the white man getting sentenced to 20 years. Now, am I saying, that the white man got sentenced to 20 years? They had no problem with that. They didn't agree with him in terms of self-defense. They were happy that he got 20 years for manslaughter, right? But now in the case of Carmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf, the black community sided with Carmelo, even though it was a clear case of premeditated murder. Carmelo wasn't even supposed to be at the game. Carmelo had a weapon in his bag that was not allowed at school events. That goes against the law and school policy, right? He threatened Austin by saying, touch me and see what happens, right? When you factor in, he was asked to leave the tent. He didn't want to leave. So when you think about this, Carmelo Anthony was provoking a situation because he knew he had that weapon on him, just like this black woman who had that gun. She had the option to stay in her car. And if she would have did that, she could have just called the police. But no, she stepped out that car because she wanted to use that weapon so bad. She wanted it to be a self-defense situation because she wanted to kill a white person. That was on her mind. If she killed a black person, would we be talking? No. If that very same black woman shot a black guy because they were arguing over a parking spot, would the black community be siding with her? Would they say it was self-defense? No, we wouldn't even be talking about it because it would be a black on black situation. Anytime it's a black on white situation, it's always big news on social media. Ain't that crazy? Ain't that something? It's always big news. You know? Like I seen some video with Willie D Live. I got to do a video on it where he did a video talking about a situation that happened with a YouTuber named Damon Darling, who pretty much, he goes around blessing people with money because he's supposed to be well off, owns an oil rig. It was an inheritance. And he goes around doing a lot of good things for the community. He's a comedian. I really like the guy. He's a real good guy. And he does good content. He makes you laugh. It is what it is, right? He made a video because a white man, I guess, was threatening to call the police on Damon Darling for giving out a TV or something like that. And he's making a big deal out of it because the guy is white, not realizing that Damon Darling been kicked out of various stores many times and had police called on him by both white and black people. But Willie D, because he's a racist and he don't like white people, he's using that video clip to create and stir racial division. We're going to do a video about that later on because he's literally taking things out of context. Damon Darling been kicked out of various stores many times by whites and black people. But Willie D don't make videos when it's a black person that kicked Damon Darling out. He don't make videos about that. He don't make videos about Damon when he's kicked out by a black security guard. And there are videos on Damon's platform when he get kicked out by black security guards. But you won't see Willie D Live talk about that. You know why? Because it's a black person doing it. He uses white people with black people, not realizing that Damon Darling is actually mixed. Right? He's a mixed brother, which means I believe his mother is white and his father is black. I believe that's how it goes. I think that's what it is. It's neither here nor there, but my point is he's trying to use it to create racial tension because that's what these content creators do. They rage bait because they know that their black audience will jump on board. They know that. That's how they're able to make money. So, that being said, guys, when we look back at the case of Michael Dracaw, he claimed self-defense in his case, and it was thrown out, even though he was attacked. Keep in mind, guys, he was attacked in Florida. He didn't put no hands on nobody, and it was 2 against 1, and they threw that out. And keep in mind, there was no black jurors in the case of Michael Dracaw. No black people were on the jury. So if Florida was filled with racist whites, right? why would racist whites put away a white man for 20 years? Because there was about 6 white people on the jury and some other ethnic groups. There was no black people, and yet they still found them guilty and gave them 20 years. So the system does work. The system works, right? So why is it that when it comes to the Carmelo Anthony case, right, black people want to complain that there was no black people on the jury, claiming that he never had a jury of his peers when he did have a jury of his peers? Just because it was no black people on the jury does not mean that there was no jury of his peers, especially if Carmelo lived in an area that had more white people than black people. Then when it's jury duty, you're going to have a lot more mixed groups. And to be honest, all the black people that were selected for jury duty disqualified themselves by the things they were asked when they were questioned. They were saying stuff like, well, I can't see myself, putting a black man behind bars. I can't see myself doing that. Well, if you can't see yourself doing that, that means that you're partial in judgment. That's why they got kicked off the jury. Many of them were like that. You even had teachers that they were kicked off too. And you had black people making videos saying, but there were white teachers that were there. They didn't kick them off. That's because these so-called black folk that are on YouTube, they're not educated. There's a difference between a teacher that's in a school from a teacher that is, like a person that have a mechanic school and he's teaching grown men how to do the job. That's totally different from a school. When you are a teacher in a school with students, you might feel sorry for the student and let them slide, figuring, well, he's about to graduate and, he got his whole life ahead of him. So I'm going to kind of favor him so that they could give him. No, you're not supposed to be on the jury. So you got to understand how this thing works. So there's a double standard with the black community. They're siding with this woman because she's black. So you're going to see a lot of black grifters. Mark my words, they probably already started, where they're going to start pushing this woman as the new face of the black community. We're going to see GoFundMes started. Once this thing goes to trial and they say, okay, we're going to press charges on this woman, you're going to see the black community come together and they're going to put a bunch of money out there in order for her to get legal counsel. So I'm kind of letting you guys know from the beginning exactly what's coming down the pipeline so that y'all all know what's happening, because this is where it's going. We're going to see this in the coming weeks where they're going to put charges on her. We're going to see black people on YouTube defending her, claiming self-defense, which is crazy. Crazy. They're going to disregard all the facts and conclude that the guy was wrong and her life was in danger. Nowhere in this video was her life in danger. There was no guns shown, no knives, nothing. And this got to stop. This madness got to stop with people unaliving people and then claiming self-defense because somebody was walking near them. If that's the case, we're going to start shooting people just for walking near us when we're parking our car. Well, why did you shoot them? Well, I was trying to get into my vehicle. I saw them walking next to mine, and I thought that my life was in danger, so I shot them, not realizing that the car next to yours is their car. The car next to yours is their car. But because they were walking near you, you pulled your gun and shot them. Imagine that kind of sick world we live in where people are that afraid of people. Crazy, right? Absolutely sick. But anyway, guys, we're going to get up on out of here. And again, pay no mind to the trolls, guys. Some of these people are just mentally ill. They're NPCs. They come in and they repeat themselves every day. They're sick people. These are demons, guys. I got a lot of demons that watch my platform every day. So make sure you guys that support the truth, those of you that are intelligent, because I have a lot of people that come to the platform. They're not intelligent. They're not. They just want to argue all day. A lot of them, they just come to the platform to argue with me all day. They're not watching to learn nothing. They're not trying to think clear, nothing. They just keep hating me because I'm speaking the truth. You know, that's it. Now think about this. You would think that this person would have a job, a life, kids to take care of. That you would think that they would find something to do with their life. Like, why are they even watching me, guys? If I'm such a horrible person, why are they watching me? You have to think about that. Why are they here? With all the things they could be doing, you would think that they would be doing something with themselves. You would think that, right? And then they said that they're a teenager. No, you're an NPC. You're a lunatic. What teenager watches a 49-year young man speak on these particular issues? What interest is this for you as a teenager? Why are you even interested in what I think as a teenager? Make that make sense. Oh, the account was newly made too? Let's check it out. Let me see. Let me go check out the account, see when it was registered. Alrighty. Guys, the account was made today. The account was made today. So that's just a troll who is a miserable adult who's just mad at the world because their life sucks. So they're mad at the world, guys. Typical nonsense. So you're telling me as a teenager, you just registered to YouTube, right? On July 3rd. Right? And you want us to believe that you just miraculously registered to YouTube just to come to my live stream. Yeah. Okay. Whatever you say. Whatever you say. So guys, I'm gonna get up on out of here. I gotta take care of some business. Do what I gotta do. And I'll catch you later on with more content. It is what it is. Make sure you guys hit the like button, guys. Learn how to support the show, guys. When you have people like myself that break down these videos, that speak this truth, you got to know how to support the truth, guys, because too many people on social media are lying. They don't care about truth. We need justice for this man, this Army vet. Even though he might have had an engagement where he was arguing with this woman, I don't think that it was warranted for her to unalive the man because of an argument over a parking spot. I think that this woman was aggressive. She was looking for blood and she brandished a weapon and she needed to be charged with murder. And because she was looking for that, she needed to be put behind bars to make the community safe because she'll do it again. She would go to another parking lot. Somebody will cut her off. Somebody will take the parking spot and she will do the same thing again. If this don't get nipped in the bud, somebody else can be dead because of this woman who's on edge. She's trigger happy. She's a menace to society and she need to be put behind bars. You know, it's just that simple. So hopefully they'll go through the investigation, do what they need to do, and then bring charges on this woman after the investigation, go to trial, and, you know, the family of the Army vet can pretty much get some justice and do what they need to do, you know, because it's just a sad situation where you can't even go to Walmart without dying now. It's like you could move to a nice community, live in a nice community, but you forgot you got to go to the supermarket. And it's like when you go to the supermarket, you got to be concerned about dying now. That's why I always say when you pull up in a parking lot, bruh, whether it's Walmart, Food Lion, Lowe's, Home Depot, be prepared for the drama, because I'm telling you, people are weird. People are strange these days. And the parking lot is filled with a lot of unhinged NPCs that are out to take you out. So get home safe, do what you got to do. And it is what it is, man. So I'm going to get up on out of here, guys. Y'all take care. Peace and blessings to the mods in the chat. I'll be back on later on to share some more information, some more truth. Be careful with these YouTubers, guys, that are spreading lies about the Carmelo Anthony case. These guys are grifters, these women, these men, and now they're going to use her. Anything that's white and black is what they're going to use to divide the community. That's what they're going to do all the time. So I'm out of here, guys. Y'all take care. Peace and blessings to the mods in the chat, Forever Studios. Shout out to all the mods, V-Dub, man. Shout out to the channel members, Show Shao. Who else we got? Shout it out, V-Dub, Forever Studios, Show Shao. Anybody else here? Let me see. I don't see nobody else. And yeah, shout out to everybody, the regulars that come through. Make sure you guys hit the like button. Let's get these likes to 300. If you can be so kind, let's get the likes to 300 and share the videos, guys. We'll be back later on with more content. I got more things I got to talk about. I'm going to upload some videos as well. I got to go do a repair real quick. And yeah, we'll be back, guys. So rate, comment, and subscribe. Ringo TV Reactions. We salute you. We out of here, guys. Y'all take care. Peace. We out.
If you like our content, consider supporting via Cash App at $sign Ringo TV Raw. Become a patron on patreon.com for exclusive video content not shown on YouTube. You could also support through PayPal at paypal.me/Ringo TV Raw. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the bell to be notified of new content. Follow me on Instagram at Ringo TV Raw.
This is Ringo TV Reactions, the only channel on YouTube bringing you the truth 100% raw and uncut.